Hi everyone, I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, and I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So this is a live Q&A with an immigration attorney, and I'm going to provide general immigration information, and this can apply to anyone located anywhere in the world, right? Because immigration is not it's not a state-specific practice, it's a federal practice. So that means that it applies the same no matter where in the US you are located. So we can help you with your immigration applications. Feel free to reach out to us for a consultation if we can help. All right. Great. Thanks so much for joining me. We're streaming live on both Facebook and on TikTok, and our handle is at Agarwal Immigration on both Facebook and on TikTok. All right, and that's at Agarwal Immigration. If you want to follow us and like us, you'll be notified of every time we go live. You'll get an update, so you can always join and ask your immigration questions. This is, again, general information. If you want to request a confidential consultation with us, we're doing them by Zoom or by phone or in person for those folks that want to come out and see me in person. I'm meeting people in the office here, and I'm happy to meet you in person as well. Feel free to type your questions in as I start talking today. So what I want to talk to you about today are tips for a successful green card interview if you're in the US, if you're abroad, and also for visa application interviews if you are abroad, right? So what are some tips for a successful interview? What are some tips for a successful interview? So I'm just kind of going to roll off the top of my head. I did some interview prep with some of my clients today, and I am just going to give you kind of some of my thoughts, right? Some of my thoughts from my prep with my clients. I think that will help you guys here if you're going to a visa interview at a U.S. embassy abroad, especially now that they're opening up. And also if you're going to a green card interview out here in the U.S. Okay. Again, this can be anywhere in the U.S. It doesn't matter where. They're all kind of the advice applies to no matter where you are going for an interview. All right, here's my tip. Number one, be prepared, right? Be prepared. So take your application, a copy of your full application, have it printed and review it to make sure that it's accurate. If it is not accurate, you want to raise that at the interview. You want to bring that up at the interview and let them know, hey, I got my zip code wrong, or I forgot to put my sister's information on here. I do have a sister. I don't know what happened. It got missed and I didn't catch it before I submitted it. You can always make corrections if you need to at the actual interview. So get your application, review it, and if there are any changes, let them know. The other thing, you want to take original copies of all civil documents. That's your birth certificate, that's your marriage certificates, right? If you have children, you might want to get their birth certificates and take that as well. You want to take original copies of all civil documents. You want to have a passport that is at least 6 months, that doesn't expire for at least 6 months from the date of the interview. All right, so you want to have a valid passport, original civil documents, and also make sure you take your application or review it and make sure that you have it with you. You don't need to submit your application again, but just review it and make sure that it is accurate, and you will going to notify them if it is not accurate, okay? You'll have original copies of civil documents. Also, how do you dress, right? How do you dress? We always recommend business formal attire, right? If you don't have business formal attire, you can also have you can just wear business casual, but dress professionally, dress cleanly. You want to make a good impression. The people interviewing you are people, just that. They're just people, and they can be influenced by something if it looks like you're being disrespectful to them or to the embassy as a whole, or even just the USCIS office, right? So wearing professional attire is a sign of respect, and I would recommend that as much as possible. We've had clients come to interviews, we've accompanied them with a sari, for example, and I think that's perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly fine. It is formal for that culture, and I think that USCIS officers do appreciate that, right? They do appreciate that they are with immigrants all day long. They're with people that are from different cultures all day long, and they are familiar with that. This is not foreign to them. So it's perfectly fine for you to wear what's considered formal dress for your specific culture. That I think is perfectly fine. That is my opinion. Other attorneys and other people might have different opinion, but we've had a successful interviews. We've had people receive citizenship wearing a sari, and I think that is spectacular. So feel free, if you're with us, if you're coming with us, if I'm going with you, I'm happy for you to wear whatever you feel comfortable in. But if I'm going to recommend, I would say business formal attire. Okay. All right, great. Okay, so you've now reviewed your application, you're wearing your business formal attire, you're taking your original documents. So when you get there, kind of know what to expect, know where the interview is, right? So where is it located, where you're gonna park, arrive early, all of that. And then when you go in and you are actually in the USCIS officer's office, or if you're interviewing for a visa at the embassy abroad, you're gonna go into to the counter, right? And you'll be answering questions. So what do you do in terms of the questions? So what I would say, right? So what I would say is you should understand the legal requirements for the type of application you are submitting, right? So understand the legal requirements for the type of application that you are submitting, because what the officer is trying to do is measure whether you qualify or not, right? They want to know, do you qualify or do you not qualify? Okay, so if you understand the requirements, then you can tie their question to which one of the requirements they are trying to assess by asking a specific question. I know I'm sounding a little bit complicated here, but what you want to do is understand what is it they're trying to find out, or what element are they trying to satisfy by them asking me this question. So my advice would be try to understand what is it exactly they're trying to ask me, and then you can try to highlight the parts of your answers to satisfy that requirement, right? If they're trying to see, for example, I'm going to give you an example. If you're going in for like a tourist visa interview, and one of the requirements, is that you have an intent to return back to your home country, and they say, how long are you going for, right? You can say, I don't know, 2 weeks, it's unclear, right? Or you might be able to say, I'm going for 2 weeks, I'm there for a wedding. Again, you're trying to highlight the temporary nature of your trip, right? Whatever that reason is, you want to be truthful. But for example, let's say you're going for a wedding, so you could say, I'm planning to arrive on such and such a date. I'm going to attend my cousin's wedding in New York. Here is my flight itinerary, and this is where I plan to stay. I also have my hotel reservation. I plan to come back on X date. So now you've highlighted the temporary nature of your trip, your intent to return to your home country, which is all going to be required for a tourist visa, right? And you've been able to highlight that because you understood exactly what they are asking. Okay, so the next question could be something like, when did you last arrive in the US, right? So this is going to be something that might come up at like a green card interview here in the US. When did you last arrive? So you don't want to go on and on about your arrival because you don't want to be sending red flags or anything like that. You can just give a date. I arrived in Arizona on November 15th, 2021, right? Assuming you came yesterday. But just be concise in your answer and the way you respond if for some reason you don't know what they're trying to get at. The one time that I say you can kind of provide more information than they're asking for is if they're trying to assess bona fide marriage. Like, for example, who is the messy person in the relationship, right? One of you can speak up and then provide a lot of details, because what it does is shows all the additional details shows that your marriage is real. So you don't know what they're going to ask you, but if you can understand why they're asking you what they're going to ask you or what they are asking you, then you can highlight the specific portions of your response to satisfy that element. So you know exactly what they're asking and why they're asking it, and you can highlight the facts that kind of help your application. Okay? Again, before we move on, I want to make very clear, do not make up facts. You have to be truthful in your interview, no matter if you're at the embassy abroad or if you're at USCIS here in the US. You have to be truthful with your application. Okay? I hope that is helpful. So those are kind of my big tips. If you have an interview coming up, I wish you the best of luck. I know it's nerve-wracking, but practice as much as you can. Know your application. Be ready before the actual interview, and you're going to do great. You're going to do great. If you need help, call us for a consultation. We're at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration lawyer, and I help clients all throughout the United States with all sorts of immigration cases. We help with humanitarian cases for victims of abuse. We do this quite a bit. We also have employment-based immigration cases where companies are sponsoring for green cards or temporary visas, and we also have just family-based cases where people are sponsoring their family members from abroad. So we're happy to help, and we have experience with all different case types, and we'd be happy to talk to you about what you might be eligible for, or we would be able to talk to you on how to move forward with any of these types of cases in a consultation, which is where we run through your immigration goals and your process, all of the fees involved, the steps involved, and get you a very clear picture on how to move forward with your immigration case. Okay? Call us for consultation 703-348-1663. Hi, Raul. Thank you for following us. Ravi says, hi, good evening. Hi, Ravi. Nice to see you. Rabrak says, you fight a case in New York for asylum. Do you fight an asylum case in New York? Yes. So we handle cases all throughout the United States. So yes, absolutely. We have clients in New York. We have asylum cases. We have our cases all throughout the U.S. So I'm happy to help you with that. Feel free to put questions in as I'm kind of running through here if I missed you. Chris says, girl, I definitely qualify. Great, then you don't need us, Chris. Thanks for joining. Ishki says, hi, how are you? Zoe is following us. Awesome. Guys, if you think that other people you know might have immigration questions, they want to kind of run something by an immigration lawyer, I'd be happy to provide general information on our lives, which we're having almost every single day. So make sure that you like our page, share our page with other people that might benefit from this. Okay. Chris says, I walked 5 days through the desert. I'm showing up and singing them the national anthem. Okay. All right. Welcome. Ishki says, Madam, I need your help. Absolutely. What we're doing, the first step to getting help from us to working with our law firm, we can represent you no matter where you are located. The first step would be to call our office for a consultation. You can also book a consultation yourself from our Facebook page. So we do have a link on our Facebook page where you can book a consultation. So I'd be happy to schedule one for you. So they're about 30 minutes. We charge $150, and we have a full review of your interests, of your case types, of your history, your immigration history, and we can walk you through the full process for any of your immigration goals. Okay, again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm located right outside of Washington, D.C., and no matter where you are, we can make a consultation work either through Zoom, through phone, and if you want to come and visit me in person. Okay? All right. Ishki says, I'm writing from France. I got rejected by the French for some unfair reasons. What is your advice for me? So Ishki, I'm sorry to hear that. Absolutely sorry to hear that. It can be very disheartening to go to your interview and then get rejected, right? But the good thing is that you can always reapply. And if you didn't do it with an attorney last time, I would suggest maybe doing it with an attorney this time. All right. So I don't know what you applied for, and I don't know whether you qualified or not. But if you want to give us a call, I can definitely go through your application with you. Your immigration goals. We're at 703-348-1663. Hi, Rukkan Shah Bacha. Um, Great. So just make sure if you want to receive notifications on whenever I go live, feel free to like our page, follow us on TikTok. We're at Agarwal Immigration. That's Agarwal Immigration. And you will be notified every single time I go live. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining me. It's nice to see you. We are open. Our office is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. You can go ahead and book yourself if you want to hop on Facebook and see. If you want to call us, you can call us now and leave a voicemail, or just give us a call. We'll call you back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Hi, Ethan. Nice to see you. Not sure if you're still on, but nice to see you. Thanks so much, guys. So happy to see so many of you today. And I will see you again tomorrow. Get your questions ready. And of course, share our page with others that might have immigration questions. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.